Hello students. Today I am going to discuss about Henry Fielding's great novel Joseph Andrews. So uh, here this novel is very important in the history of British fiction. You can see in the slide the full title of this novel is uh, see the history of the adventures of Joseph Andrews and of his friend Mr. Abraham Adams. Okay, so this is the full title of uh, novel. Okay, before talking about this novel, let's uh, talk about the author himself. Okay, so the author of this novel is Henry Fielding. Henry Fielding was born on 22nd April 1707 in Somersetshire and educated at Eton, Eton. Henry Fielding started his literary career as a playwright. Here, playwright means a dramatist, but it could not last. Then, at the age of 30, he reverted to the profession of law. He was interested um, in the field of law, and that's why he studied uh, the degree of law, and then he chose this profession as magistrate. Henry Fielding was known for his humor, earthy humor, you can say, humor and satire, and as the author of the comic novel Tom Jones. He also holds a place in the history of law enforcement, having used his authority as a magistrate to found the Bow Street Runners, which somehow called London's first police force. Okay, we'll talk about his plays and about his novels later. Okay, let's talk about Henry Fielding's um, early life. A brief biography. Okay, uh, Henry Fielding was just 11 years old. When his mother died, it was a great shock for him. His father, General Edmund Fielding, was a responsible person. So uh, he was the care of his grandmother. Then uh, he moved towards writing, towards writing plays for theater, but he was not so successful. Okay, then he also tried his hands at the reports uh, for journals and magazines. Then Fielding retired from the theater and then resumed his career in law to support uh, his family. His wife's name was Charlotte Craddock. Okay, and he had also two children. So he became barrister to support his family. His family was going through poverty, but fortunately, he was helped by a wealthy man. Now, students, here it is very important point to remember that his novel Tom Jones and the character Squire Allworthy, okay, of this novel Tom Jones. Here, why I'm mentioning the name of this character of Tom Jones, see, because this character is based on the rich man who supported him. Okay, so this is very important point. Then Fielding never stopped writing political satire and satires of current arts and letters. He also contributed a number of works to journals of the time. Fielding continued to air his political views in satirical articles and newspapers in the late 1730s and early 1740s. Uh, See, Henry Fielding, then um, he was the main writer and editor from 1739 to 1740 for the satirical paper, and that the name of that paper is The Champion. After that, Fielding took to novel writing in 1741. At that time, he was angered by Samuel Richardson's success Pamela. Uh, with Pamela, that means this is the name of Richardson's novel, Pamela, and the subtitle of this novel is Virtue Rewarded. His first success was an anonymous parody of this novel, Pamela. Okay, Richardson's novel, Pamela. So he wrote the parody. He wrote the parody of Pamela, and the name of that short novel of Henry Fielding um, is Shamela. Okay, Shamela. Then after he never looked back, he became so popular as a novelist that the people people consider him as a founder of the English novel. So after Shamela, he wrote a number of good novels. His novels were the great contribution to British fiction. His novels became so popular that he emerged more as a great novelist than as a playwright. Let me remind you that Henry Fielding wrote dramas. He was dramatist before becoming popular as a novelist. But his novels dominated his plays, so he is remembered as founder of the English novel. Uh, okay, it is also important to note here that Sir Walter Scott called him as the father of the English novel. Okay, so uh, this point is to be remembered. This is important point. Okay, that he was called the father of the English novel by Sir Walter Scott. Okay, let's have a look at his major plays. Uh, you can see in the slide that, see, Love in Several Masks, which was published in 1728. Then The Temple Bow. Okay, Temple Bow. Gujarati is Chel Batao Ashik. Okay, so the Temple Bow means Chel Batao Ashik. Okay, here it is the Gujarati translation. It is not translation, but this is the Bhavanwad. Okay. Okay, this play, The Temple Bow, was published in 1730. Then the another major play, drama, is The Author's Farce, okay, which was published in 1730 in the same year. Then another play is The Miser, published in 1733, and the next one is Pasquin, Pasquin, which was published in 1736. Here, the meaning of Pasquin is imitation, or you can say mockery. ઓકે, ઇમિટેટ કરવું એટલે અનુકરણ કરવું, રાઈટ? ઇમિટેશન એટલે અનુકરણ અથવા કોઈનું અનુકરણ કરી અને તે પ્રસંગને હાસ્યાસ્પદ બનાવીએ, તો that is called mockery. Okay, so this play Pasquin published in 1736. However, we know that Fielding is remembered for his novels. So uh, these are his major novels. Again, I repeat the quote of Sir Walter Scott. Do you remember? Yes, that, see, Sir Walter Scott called Henry Fielding the father of the English novel. Yes. Okay, Henry Fielding wrote 4 great novels in the last phase of his life. His first novel, Joseph Andrews, which was published in 1742, followed by Shamela. Okay, this novel begins as a burlesque of Richardson's Pamela, as I mentioned earlier, but develops into a picaresque novel. Okay, in a picaresque novel, there is a picaro, or you can say a rogue, or in other words, the protagonist of the picaresque novel is a wanderer. Okay, so he meets different people, he visits various places. uh, Fielding despised the morality of Pamela, you know, the protagonist of Richardson's novel Pamela, or Virtue Rewarded. So, okay, by the way, let me clear this point, that in Pamela, in Richardson's novel Pamela, the protagonist, uh, you know, is heroine, means is a female protagonist, right? And the title of the novel is taken from the name of the protagonist of the novel, right? Pamela. And in this novel, Pamela remains strict, very strict to her moral virtues. During the course of this novel, she is, attacked by many lusty people, many lusty men, but she doesn't surrender herself to them. So here, female chastity is given more importance. Henry Fielding, see what he did. Henry Fielding created a male character. Okay, and this is just a parody of Pamela. In Pamela, there is a female character, and the writer talks about female chastity. While in Henry Fielding's novel Joseph Andrews, he talks about male chastity, right? So he has created a male, he has created a man who remains very strict to his moral virtues. He is, sexually harassed, sexually attacked by several women, but he tries to remain pure because fortunately he has his friend whose name is Mr. Adam, and Mr. Adam is a parson. Okay, so he, his friend parson is teaching him, uh, the moral values and the stories of the Bible. Okay, so because of this influence of his friends' teachings and preachings, okay, teach and preach, mind well, both are different words. Teach and preach, P-R-E-A-C-H. Preach means when you learn something about religion. Okay, જેને આપણે ધર્મ સાધુઓ કહીએ છીએ, સાધુ કે જેઓ ધાર્મિક ભાષણો આપે છે, બોધ આપે. Okay, then Joseph Andrews, the novel Joseph Andrews was followed by another novel. You can see in the slide, History of the Life of the Late Mr. Jonathan Wild the Great. Okay, so this novel was published in 1743. Here, the protagonist of this novel relates the career of consummate rogue from his birth and baptism to his arrival at the Tree of Glory, the gallows. Okay. Okay, then the another novel of Henry Fielding is The History of Tom Jones, a Foundling. Okay, so this is very popular and great novel of Henry Fielding. Tom Jones was published in 1749. This novel was published in 18 books. Okay, and this novel is considered to be his masterpiece. The first two volumes deal with country life, the next two with adventures on the road, and the last two are concerned with the town. The novel reflects the contemporary social life. Okay, then his another novel, Amelia, which was published in 1751. So this is Henry Fielding's last novel. Okay, yes, this is Henry Fielding's last novel. Okay, Amelia is his last novel, and this novel is devoted to exposing various social evils of the time, social evils of his time, during 18th century, the first half of 18th century. Okay, now you are going to learn, you are going to study in detail about Joseph Andrews. You have to study this novel. This novel is in your paper core compulsory 303 unit 2. Okay, so this is unit 2 of paper 303. Okay, but before talking about Joseph Andrews, now let's revise some points about Henry Fielding. Henry Fielding, see, these are important points. Okay, Henry Fielding, a great thinker, a moralist, and a philosopher in the history of English literature. Fielding displayed the qualities of the perfect novelist. He gave the novel a new conception of unity, breadth, and depth. His characters give a vivid and graphic picture of the society of the 18th century. Henry Fielding's novels are well planned and well knit. He is the master of the art of narration. His characterization is par excellence. Fielding's contribution to the English fiction, English novel, is unparalleled. Okay, so this novel, Joseph Andrews, you can see in the slide, the full title of this novel is The History, you have remembered this, okay, the full title of this novel, the history of the adventures of Joseph Andrews and of his friend Mr. Abraham Adams. Okay, so this is his first full-length novel. This is the first full-length novel of Henry Fielding. Again, I repeat, this novel was published in 1742. You need to remember again that Henry Fielding was penniless when he published this novel. So the first motive behind publishing this novel, behind writing this novel, was to earn money. Okay, so at the time, Henry Fielding was going through uh, uh, poverty, and this novel, Joseph Andrews, gave him not only uh, monetary help but also uh, fame. Okay, this novel is comic epic poem in prose. Students, Henry Fielding, in the preface of this novel, uh, writes about this novel that, and he also mentions with emphasis that this novel is a comic epic poem in prose. See, he writes in the preface, okay, in the preface of this novel. This novel, as I mentioned earlier, this novel, Joseph Andrews, uh, was not only a response to personal and financial crisis, but it was also a response to Samuel Richardson's much debated novel named, do you remember? Yes, Pamela, right? Or Virtue Rewarded, which was published in 1740. Another important point regarding this novel is novel was written in imitation of the manner of Cervantes, the author of Don Quixote. This is masterpiece of Henry Fielding, and this novel expresses irony and social criticism. Uh, Another point you need to remember is that this is a realistic novel, and or you can say that this is a anti-romantic novel because it does not contain any chivalrous deeds and achievements. Yes, we have the adventures of two main characters, Joseph Andrews and his friend, who is Parson, namely Abraham Adams. This novel is realistic, to the core, in spite of its exaggeration of the facts. We can find the picture of the 18th century uh, of England. We have in this novel a satirical and yet realistic account of the people of that time. For example, the account of the behavior of hypocritical clergymen, the behavior of greedy surgeons and false lawyers, the behavior of unjust and incompetent magistrates or justices, you can say the justice, and the behavior of lustful squires, sensual ladies and maids. So in this novel, we encounter actual persons like Barnabas, Trulliber, Justice Frolic, Lawyer Scout, Lady Booby, Mrs. Slipslop, uh, and others. Okay, we'll talk later in detail about these characters. To some extent, Henry Fielding has surely exaggerated the weaknesses and shortcomings of these persons, but he does so in order to produce the right satirical effects. Yes, you can say that. Another important point about this novel is that this is a picaresque novel. Some critics are of the opinion that we cannot say this is a purely picaresque novel, but it falls in this genre. What is picaresque novel? Uh, okay, let me give you some points. See, the word picaresque has been formed from the Spanish word picaro, which means a cunning trickster or rogue. ROGUE, right? જે ભટકતો હોય ને માણસ અને કેવો કેરફ્રી હોય લૂંટારા જેવો હોય તેવો માણસ. A picaresque novel means a novel which contains the adventures of a, a rogue, or you can say trickster, in the course of a journey on which he goes. So here, Picaro is a wanderer. He visits several places and meets several people. So he encounters various cultures, okay, languages. So it's a kind of he's a kind of a wanderer. He moves from place to place, uh, and so on and so forth. The first picaresque novel, okay, this is just for your kind information. The first picaresque novel appeared in the 16th century in Spain. The term picaresque was first applied in England to Daniel Defoe's novel Moll Flanders. Okay, uh, you can confirm this fact. You should access internet. Okay, search Google. There is a Google Baba. Okay, so Daniel Defoe's novel Moll Flanders is considered the first picaresque novel. Okay, a picaresque novel is described as a romance of roguery, but that was its original character in Spain. In England, the term began to be used for all those novels which described the adventures of a lively and resourceful uh, hero, okay, a resourceful hero in the course of his journey. And this journey, which he undertook, Joseph Andrews is certainly a novel in which there is a description of journey and adventures of the heroes Joseph and Adams. By the way, let me remind you that we have two protagonists of this in this novel. Okay, Joseph Andrews as well as Abraham Adams. Okay, this is enough for today. Thank you. Stay home and stay safe and take very good care of yourself. Thank you.